Happy holidays. Welcome in, everyone, to Fantasy Filmball. My name is Matt. With me is Dylan, and we are here for the holidays. We're going to be drafting. I mean, we're releasing this a few days after the holidays, but we're drafting our favorite holiday movies. And that's any holiday movies. We've been doing the draft for a few weeks now, and we thought it was like the perfect opportunity to, do a holiday episode with this. So for this draft, actually, you know what, Dylan? I'll let you explain the rules. How does it work?
So it is time for our holiday spectacular here with the draft. This is something that we've been doing for a little bit, and I have to say, sadly, my reign of terror has come to a close. My undefeated streak is over after last week's $1 billion draft. Maybe it's because I didn't pick Avatar. Maybe it's because I didn't pick Lord of the Rings. The world may never know, but Matt has finally got into the win column with his first win in 4 weeks. But the draft, we each draft 5 films for a total of 10 taken off the board in various categories, this week being the holidays. And since Matt won, he will have the first pick here. And there's a lot to pick from because it's not just Christmas. You have Hanukkah movies. You have movies that just take place during the holiday season. There's so much out there. And I'm really excited because I feel like there's so many different directions you could go with this first overall pick.
Oh, totally. There's so many different directions, and I'm just going to say my list definitely comprises of, like, some overt Christmas movies and some that just take place around Christmas. So for my first pick, I'm not going to go with the obvious around Christmas movie, but I'm going to go for the ultimate Christmas season movie. It's not a Christmas movie. It's, like, the ideal movie to watch on November 1st. Because it's not a Halloween movie, and it's not a Christmas movie. It's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Good one. Good one.
This is one that I could watch every year. It's immaculately crafted. It's so funny. The music is stunning. It's some of the best music in any movie musical. Honestly, it's just one of the most iconic films in the animation medium. So yeah, this is my number one. Easy pick number 1 here.
I'm upset. That's what I was really looking to get here. Because there's so much to pick here. I mean, I could go crazy here and pick Santa Jaws, but I will spare everyone out there.
Sorry, excuse me?
Yeah, there's Santa Jaws out there. There's Treevenge, a movie where a bunch of trees wreak havoc on a city. But I am going to go in a different direction and that little horror Christmas type feel. And I'm going to go with what I think is one of the best horror movies of all time. And it just so happens to take place during Christmas. And that is 1974's Black Christmas.
Oh, a Canadian king right there.
It's one of my favorite horrors of all time. And I don't feel there's much to say because I feel like it's a very underseen movie, and I don't really want to give too much away about it, but it's one of the best slasher movies out there. It's not overtly grotesque or anything like that. It really understands the pacing, the tone that you need to have in one of those, and that's what I have here in the first round.
It's the first slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it invented the genre.
I didn't know that,
I take credit for that.
Cool.
Yeah, it
I'll take
invented
credit for
the slasher genre. I'll take credit for it as a Canadian because that movie was made in Toronto. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Toronto repping up.
That's an interesting first choice. I think you might have picked it a little bit too early. That wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah, maybe I picked it too early, but I have a little...
But it shows your love for the film, so that's good by me.
I have a little strategy. That was originally going to be my second pick. Nightmare Before Christmas was going to be my first. But keeping this theme of a different type of holiday movies, why don't I take Gremlins here? That takes place during Christmas, and it has a lot going on during it. It's got horror themes. It's got comedy themes. It is a darker type movie that you could watch with the family, though. So it's one that hits the 4 quadrants that you really want to think with a horror type movie, but it gets the job done.
Okay, Gremlins, interesting. These are both 2 picks that weren't even on my list of 10. This is a really fascinating draft.
Like I mentioned last week, we're going to have a very interesting draft here because I feel like each movie we're going to draft, maybe outside of Nightmare Before Christmas, would not be one on the other person's list.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Gremlins, that's a good pick. So now with my next pick, I think I'm going to have to go for what I think is the ultimate Christmas classic. And when I say Christmas classic, I'm talking old school. I'm talking, this is the one movie I could rewatch every single year, endlessly. And this is not the one that you're thinking of, because I know you're going to be thinking of the Christmas classic. This is a different one. This is The Ultimate Santa Claus. I'm going with A Miracle on 34th Street.
All right.
That is, I think it's so funny. It's such a perfect demonstration of just Christmas magic. It's so lovely and light and fun. It has one of my top 10 performances of all time. Edmund Gwenn is the perfect Santa Claus. It's such an incredible film. So that is my next choice here. And then afterwards, you know what? I'm going to snap up a big boy right here.
All right, let's see it.
I got to snap up Elf for my next pick. It's one that I've endlessly rewatched. It's so funny. It's so lovely. It's not one of my absolute favorites anymore, because I think I've just watched it so many times that some of the magic has worn off of that film. But it's a classic for very good reason, and I think it's one that's going to be around forever.
All right, good picks there. Elf was one that I was looking at a little bit, but I'm going with a distinct tone for my team, and Elf really does not fit the tone I am presenting to the table, because here with this next movie, this is a very divisive movie, and it's one that's definitely not on your list, but there's some people out there who really love this movie, and I am one of those, and that is David Lowery's The Green Knight.
Oh, I wouldn't even think of that as a possibility.
The story starts on Christmas Day, and this is a very old tale that a lot of people know. A lot of people grew up on, whether it was from school or from outside knowledgeability, and it's one that I have very much resonance with, and I really love Lowery's different take on the story of Gawain and his journey. I really love the different ways he goes into it. The cinematography is very good. I feel like that's the one thing I can really shine with on my team right now, is I probably have the best made or best looking type movie here, which I would like to hang my head high on. But yeah, Green Knight is a movie that is very divisive. I know I will be taking a few hits from some people with picking that for a holiday type movie, but it does start on a holiday and multiple holidays do occur during it, so bend the rules a little bit in my favor. So to pair with The Green Knight, just going with this out there, different type of feel for the holiday season, I want to pair another, I guess because we talked about Babylon this week, a bombastic type movie with a lot of different things that happen in this, but it does take place around the holiday times. We got Tom Cruise, we got Nicole Kidman, we got a movie from my birth year, 1999, Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut.
Nice. What an excellent pick. That's again, your entire team is films that I wouldn't really think of as Christmas movies, but they all do take place on the holidays.
Exactly.
That's a very good one. Eyes Wide Shut, it's a beautiful film. It's, one of Stanley Kubrick's, all of Stanley Kubrick's are one of Stanley Kubrick's best, but it's one of Stanley Kubrick's best.
I think it's very underrated in his catalog. I understand why people don't like it, but I also think it adds a very different flavor and a feel that the rest of his movies don't entirely have, that this one presents to the table. And for my team here, like I mentioned before, I'm trying to go with a feel, and right now my feel is just very, it's dark, it's very different, it's very bold, it's very, as, what's the word I'm looking for? It is very, I can't think of the word I'm looking for.
Unique?
Thank you. Unique. All these movies are very unique because we have Black Christmas, like Matt mentioned, the very first slasher movie. We have Gremlins, which is a family type movie that also presents some horror and some comedy feels that could be a lot of people's first dive into that type of genre. And then we have The Green Knight, a very unique and different spin on a very long known fable. And we have Eyes Wide Shut, which if you don't know how this movie is unique, I don't want to be the one to spoil it for you.
All good picks. Okay, so this is my last two, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm very torn here. You have one more after this.
I do.
Okay, so I need to be very careful here because whatever I don't pick, you're going to pick. I think, at least. Maybe you won't.
Maybe
I don't know. I guess... Okay, I feel like I have to pick this just based on, Okay, I'm thinking through it right now because it wouldn't be my pick. So maybe I won't pick it and I'll just kind of hand you the win. Okay, so yeah, I guess for my first pick, I'm going to go with one of the greatest films ever made. It's frequently featured on top 100 lists of all time, including, I believe it was on the Sight and Sound one that just came out. So I'm going to be picking a Swedish film. It's one of Ingmar Bergman's final films. It is a 4-hour-long movie in which the first hour and a half takes place at a Swedish Christmas dinner. So I'm going to be picking Fanny and Alexander, which is one of my favorite films ever made. It is a breathtaking masterpiece. I counter you on saying that you have the most beautiful looking film of the bunch with The Green Knight, because Fanny and Alexander is a stunning film. So Fanny and Alexander, one of my picks right here.
All right, let's hear how you round this team out.
Okay. I'm really torn because, like I said, I'm going between films that I love versus films that make more sense. I feel like I have to be true to myself on this.
You have to. That's the name of the game here. This is Matt's team. This isn't Reddit's team. This isn't Discord's team. This is Team Matt.
I'm not gonna pick some of the other ones. I'm going to pick, like you said, an unconventional Christmas movie. I'm gonna pick one that is, I'd say it started kind of the genre of superhero movies taking place over the holidays. We've seen Iron Man 3 happen over the holidays. But really, it all began with the classic, the Danny DeVito Batman Returns, which I would argue is not a Batman movie. It is a Penguin movie and a Catwoman movie, because they are on screen more than Batman, because Tim Burton is one of the only directors that has understood that Batman is not the most interesting part of a Batman movie. The villains are much more interesting than him, which is why so much of the screen time is given to the Penguin. So much time is given to Catwoman. And those villains are so captivating, and the Christmas feel of the movie is so there. It almost feels like the Penguin is like Scrooge in this case, and is like getting lessons in life throughout the movie. I don't know. I think it's a wonderful Christmas movie. It's one of my favorites, and it feels closer to me than some of the other movies that I could have picked.
No, this is a great pick. I am going to be completely honest, and I completely forgot about Batman Returns. I'm looking at my list here, and it's here. I just didn't move it into my actual, like, these are the ones I'm thinking about drafting. That's a great pick.
I love that
big
movie.
Steal.
It's
big
one of my
steal
favorite
right here.
Batman movies.
It is, because, like, I had this discussion with one of my friends earlier this week about, since the DCU is rebranding, and I'm like, they should focus on the villains. If they're going to rebrand, why not do something different? And like you mentioned, Tim Burton understood
like Morbius.
Like Morbius.
Like
Morbius
what they're doing with
Rise
Spider-Man.
Up. I wish Morbius was set during the holidays. I would pick Morbius here, but it is sadly not. You know what movies do take place during the holidays? A lot of Christmas movies. So I only have a few shots before the one I actually pick. Because I haven't picked an actual Christmas movie so far. I mean, you have The Grinch, you have Charlie Brown, you have Rudolph, you have the Nightmare Before Christmas previously mentioned. Babe the Pig takes place during the holidays. So that's one I really wanted to take. There is a scene. I did my research. I feel like that would be cheating though, more so than some of the other ones
cheating.
I have.
That's not a Christmas movie.
But we get to some comedies, and like there's Elf, there's Bad Santa, which I was really thinking about picking here, but I don't know the wide array love for that movie, because it's one I'm kind of mixed on. I really like some parts, I don't like others. There's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is a very good one. There's the very underrated Office Christmas Party. There is the movie that everyone loves, 8 Crazy Nights, but I come down to two decisions here. Do I go with an actual Christmas movie, or do I go with a movie set during the holidays? And there's one out there, everyone's screaming, take this movie, take this movie, take this movie. And I don't want to take that movie. And that movie may be my downfall 2 weeks in a row, because I could be learning from not picking Avatar. Because a lot of people gave feedback last week. They said, if I picked Avatar, I would have won. And I didn't do it. I'm going to hold to that. I'm not picking Die Hard here. Cry, get angry, comments, let us know that neither of us picked Die Hard.
That was where I was like, oh my god, I should pick Die Hard, but I decided on one that I love more.
Yes, and Batman Returns is a better movie than Die Hard. I can't speak for Fanny and Alexander. Haven't seen it, but I'll take your word. And the list that it appears on. However, there's two here. There's one that's more iconic than the other. and I think I like the less iconic one more. Probably I should pick A Wonderful Life, but I'm going with Carol. If you want to talk about Cate Blanchett giving good performances, Cate Blanchett gives a great performance here, and Todd Haynes' Carol, this is maybe my favorite Cate Blanchett's performance. And Rooney Mara is exceptional, as well as the costumes, the cinematography. This is just another very well-made movie that has the feels, the score, and, I mean, I have horror on my list. I have a comedy with Gremlins. I have a fantasy movie with The Green Knight, and I have a thriller dark movie with Eyes Wide Shut. So why don't I get a drama? Why don't I get a romance? And conclude my team out with Carol.
Yeah, so that's a great choice. Neither of us picked, because I was thinking of two movies that I was like, I could pick these right now. It's a Wonderful Life, Die Hard. Mm-hmm. But I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm going with the ones that are close to me, that I love.
Because that's the point of these drafts.
Yeah, exactly. So your team is very unique, very not Christmassy, but they're all set during the holidays.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't say anyone would watch those as like, this is my holiday movie. Whereas I think my team has a lot of films that, like at least the first three, those would be movies that you'd watch over the holidays. So it's up to you out there to decide, to pick whose team really resonates with you more. Are you going with just your favorites, or are you going with one that resonates more with the holiday theme? It's up to you out there. But yeah, I like your team. I like my team. And just to recap, so I picked The Nightmare Before Christmas, Miracle on 34th Street, Elf, Fanny and Alexander, and Batman Returns.
And on the other hand, I got the iconic, the revolutionary Black Christmas, the 1974 version, not the recent reboot. We have Gremlins, everyone's favorite youthful movie. The Green Knight, Eyes Wide Shut, everyone's favorite family movie. And we rounded it out with the best holiday rom-com ever, Carol.
Fantastic. So you guys can leave your votes. You can leave them on Twitter. You can leave them on YouTube on our community tab. But please, vote. Get your feelings out there. Get your thoughts out there. Who has the better team? We will wait to see what you say for next week.